Today's show brought to you live from Lounge Media Group Studios. It's the Logistics Lounge. The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show host. So if you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.
Helps when you actually put people on stage, doesn't it? Great job, John. You're doing fantastic. Man, geez, I bring you on here to help, and yeah, just fail me, John, every single time.
And I'm doing my job to help by being your punching bag. It's okay.
Oh man, whatever. Jesus golly. Let's
I
crack a
know.
lack.
I've been a traitor. I have been a traitor. I have been absent for the last few weeks on the network, and I feel really bad about it. But that's what happens when you go on vacation. You show up as poolside John, and then you catch COVID. You spend a couple weeks down with COVID. Then you travel to a hotel that has the fire alarm going off a couple nights of the week, preventing you from getting any sleep whatsoever. And then on top of that, you start doing a 3-day-a-week morning show.
Well, John, I don't know what to say, man. You've had quite the adventure the past few weeks, haven't you?
It has been. Now, if I can ever get rid of this nagging cough in my chest, I'll be super happy.
Yeah, that's the sucky thing about COVID. From what I hear, is like the lingering effects. I only had COVID once, and it only lasted for 5 hours, so I'm cool. I'm good.
This is my third time with it. Each time I'm down with it hard for at least a few days.
Mhm.
This time it wasn't as long that I was really out like a light, but the after effects have lasted a lot longer this time than it has in the past. So
I've got the number one thing, number one preventer on how to get not get COVID. Do you want to know what it is?
what's that?
I stay the fuck away from people, bro. That's it. Stay in my house. I just don't go anywhere. That's it. I just stay away from public.
Normally,
works every
what
time.
I do.
Works every time.
I caught it from family when they were visiting while we were on vacation.
Traveling. Well,
normally when I fly, I actually fly with a mask.
So. Oh, yeah. I do that too. People look at me funny, but I don't know. I'm just more like, I don't know. People be all up in there, even if it ain't COVID, they'll be fucking coughing and hacking everywhere, sneezing all over everything. Like,
well, when I'm traveling, I don't want to be sick. You know, I don't travel to say, okay, if I get sick, I can lay down for a few days. That's I've got something I'm doing. I don't have the time for this.
I agree with you. Hey, I agree with you. I'm with you, man. I'm so with you. Anyway, what's happening, everybody? Welcome. Thank you for joining us live from an undisclosed location deep in the heart of Texas and deep in the heart of the panhandle of Florida. for all 110 miles wide that it is.
It's not even that wide.
I don't know, maybe not. We should find out. That's a good point. I was taking a wild guess. I thought maybe I'd be short, but you're right. Maybe it's not even 100.
Okay, some of you watching, somebody figure out what the distance is north to south between Pensacola and the Alabama border.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, we'll do it. Well, you can do it here in a minute, John. When I'm doing the news, you can find out. You can find out for us. That'd be great, right? All right. So, what do we got? Oh, great to be back. Lovely. Had a fantastic weekend. It was great, dude. I've been taking the past few weekends and just not doing anything for anybody but myself, and it's been absolutely amazing. Went to the range with my kids. Absolutely love that. Had a really good time with my boys. And the week has started out great, man. John, but man, I got hacked through one of my customers, man. And it sucks, not their fault. Yeah, dude. It is what it is. They send me an email, dude. Doing business with this person for several years. All they do is send me an email with one sentence, and it either says book this, take care of this, something along those lines. It's the BOL, and then it's me, the shipper, the receiver in it. That's it. There are no replies to it because we all operate the same way. We don't need to hold each other's hand. We just all need to know who's doing what and what's going on, and that's it. So he sent me the email. I went to click the BOL. It didn't open, and I called him. He's like, hey, man, I was just about to send the thing out. I got hacked. Don't open that. I was like, oh, fuck. Well, too late for that. And that was like 10 days ago, 12 days ago, almost 2 weeks. And man, I've been noticing weird things going on with my computer, man. Like things are just wrote off because like, even though that was in the back of my mind, I was like, nah, they would have got me by now. Like they would have got me. And anyway, just weird things going on, dude. And Tuesday, when I was building the codes on PayPal for my store, I ended up having to run to the store to grab milk and stuff last minute. I left all my stuff on. I do it all the time. This is my house. There is nobody here but me, my wife, and my son. I am not worried about someone coming and reading this shit on my screens. So left my thing on, man, went to the store, come back. All 3 of my screens are blacked out, and in big bold letters across my screens, it says screen connect. And I couldn't do anything to my computer. I obviously freaked out, turned my computer off, never turned it back on. And yeah. Well, good, Shimmy. Good. Give me my $900 fucking dollars back then. That would be great. So yeah, woke up next morning, Wednesday, woke up yesterday morning to a message from my from Chase, who I have my business account with. It said, you just sent $900 to account ending in whatever. And I was like, mother. So yeah, and what it is, they got me through PayPal, man, because I left that open. And even though they had the screen connect, I'm fortunate that like everything you have to do on my computer, even me, if I want to view anything that's like sensitive, I have to enter a 6-digit pin that only I know. My wife doesn't know, my kid don't know it, no one knows it. So and I don't have all my passwords like auto saved where they auto fill and stuff. It'll only fill in the screen name, not the password. So they were only able to get me through my PayPal because all the rest of my stuff is like pretty much, I wouldn't say locked, but I don't complete it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a big issue. Spent all fucking day yesterday and today dealing with that crap, bro. Trying to get my $900 back, changing all my passwords to all my banking stuff. Had to get my computer completely wiped. Like it's been a fucking nightmare, bro. So yeah, fun, love it.
That's horrible, and I hate it when people go through that shit. But at least it was kind of overt that they hit you that way, and it wasn't like a lot of these carriers where they just sit there and camp out in your email for months at a time, waiting for the right load so they can steal from you.
Well, I mean, they did do it, bro. I
Well,
understand your thing, but they did camp out.
They hit you on
camped out
PayPal.
yeah, but they camped out for, dude, again, this email, this is the only way this would have happened. This email was almost 2 weeks ago. So they've been camping out. They've been camping out, waiting for the right time. Cause like, dude, when I'm done with my PC, I shut everything down. I don't put it to sleep. I don't hibernate. I don't do any of that crap. So if I'm not on my computer, it's shut down. And if I walk away, it's literally for like 2 minutes. So yeah, they camped out and waited. And the guy I took my computer to, he told me how they do it. He's like, man, they download that desktop remote thing. And he was like, and they'll wait till they see you stop working. And he was like, and then he's like, they'll move the mouse a little bit, see if anything happens. Then they'll wait another 5 or 10 minutes, move the mouse again, see if you notice anything or whatever. And once they're pretty certain that you have walked away from your PC, they just start going through it and, doing whatever. So, yeah, luckily I don't have any sensitive information and shit on here. So, as far as like files, again, everything's locked. You have to have a PIN to get into everything, all my documents, all that stuff. I don't know why I did that, but I'm really glad I did now. So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to do a show on TikTok Diner on how to secure your computer as a motor carrier to keep the bad guys from coming in. And something tells me you have learned a lot of lessons on this. So I probably ought to have you on to do that.
I mean, I did learn a lot less. The only difference in the email that I did not pick up was they didn't put the shipper and the receiver in it. Everything else was the same. His exact signature, his email address, like everything. Everything was the same. They just didn't put the shipper and the receiver in the email. That's the only difference. And he does that every single email. Again, we've been doing business for so long. I didn't fucking pay it. I was like, okay, cool. Same thing as we've been doing all this time. You know what I mean? So yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It got it figured out, man. Just sucks. So anyway, there you go. IT security. It's a thing. even when you think you're careful, right? All right, so let's get to some news and then let's get to Danielle. So unless you got anything else you want to add before I get to news.
I'm good. Well, let's do the news.
All right, awesome. News then. That works. Thank you.
Lounge Media News, brought to you by AR Doc Pro and sourced from truckingnewshub.com.
The day has finally come. I can't believe it took this long, actually. Google is upping its map game, and they are now adding large vehicle routing capabilities onto its platform. I know, man. It's nuts. I can't believe it. I haven't tested it out. I literally just saw this like 10 minutes before the show. So I had a whole nother news story, but when I saw this, like, I'm going to do this one. All right. So here it is. It is almost impossible to get lost in 2026 thanks to the supercomputer that you guys have in your pockets. Map apps can point nearly every user to any known address in seconds, as long as you're in a passenger vehicle. Most consumer-facing apps do not account for tight turns, truck routes, narrow tunnels, weight limits, or low clearances. Not even the global leader in app-based mapping, Google Maps. Google, which maintains the largest database of local businesses, public transit routes, and offline map features, rolled out their large vehicle routing platform this week. The technology, now generally available nationwide across the company's routes API, optimization API, and navigation SDK. Directly integrates vehicle dimensions and road regulations into its routing algorithms. Google's new large vehicle routing system allows logistics companies to input specific vehicle profiles, including their height, weight, length, width, axle count. Do they do hazardous material? If so, what classifications? Then the system will calculate the route, mileage, and travel times and tailor it specifically to that and other parameters the user sets. Along with that, here are some fleet-wide features that they are going to include. Customized trip planning. Dispatchers can optimize single trips or complex multi-vehicle schedules while factoring in road restrictions and dynamic toll avoidance. Specialized arrival estimates. Dedicated large vehicle ETA model combines commercial vehicle speed patterns with real-time predictive traffic conditions to give an accurate ETA. Driver navigation matching. Built-in route token ensures the planned compliance route transfers directly from dispatch to the driver's cab via the navigation SDK. I don't know what that stuff is, their SDK or their routes API. I'm going to look into that because I've never heard of that. Must be something you pay for or whatever. But they said that will eliminate route discrepancies between the person that pulls the route and then the person that actually gets route. I really like that, kind of just being able to share it. That's what I'm thinking, like when you can share a pin or a location on it. That's what I kind of picture here as, John or Pedro puts in the route, then we just hit share and, it sends it over to, Jimmy or Jenny's truck there. Finally, in-cab restriction alerts. Says drivers will receive turn-by-turn guidance displaying visual callouts for upcoming clearance and weight limits inside the familiar Google Maps interface. Pretty cool, bro. I think this is pretty good shit right here.
What are they calling this? I mean, this isn't Waze, is it?
Yeah, no, they're calling it. Let me go back to it, bro. It even said it. They're calling it their large vehicle routing by Google Maps right here. That's really what they're calling it. Large vehicle routing. That's what they're calling it.
I am going to have to look that up. That sounds really
too.
Freaking cool.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, funny, I'm gonna say funny, but ironically, I had a story that was about like fraud and theft. I was like, oh, this would be perfect. Talk to Danielle about it. But I was like, I saw this, like, nah, this is actually pretty great. This is pretty newsworthy. I feel right here because, dude, I mean, you figure Google Maps would have been like one of the first ones to do this, man. And everyone else has kind of beat them to the market. And I get, you could say, oh, well, they really don't make money off the maps and stuff, but oh yes, they do. So yeah, man, this is pretty great stuff, man. And it's definitely going to give the, in-cab GPS systems that drivers are buying and run for their money. And you got to wonder, is Google Maps maybe going to come out with their own, physical system or whatever that, you can put on the dash.
That's really cool. I like that. I wish I had that when I was dispatching.
Yeah, pretty neato bandito, buddy. Got anything else to add to that, Johnny boy?
No, I'm just dumbfounded by how cool that is. I'm going to have to spend my evening looking into that.
I think it's neat. I never used GPS for routing. Only time I used GPS was ETAs, and that was in on the highways. That's it. But I did all my routing, my planning with an atlas, man. I actually was just thinking about the other day. I used to have I don't know if y'all had these in the Air Force, but in the Army, we had green books, and they were little bitty notebooks, man. You know what I mean? And you just wrote all your shit in them. You used to shove them in your side pocket. And I got a stack of those things somewhere because I used to use them. And when I was a truck driver too, they were perfect. Write down all your loads, write down instructions and everything. And I was thinking about the other day, I got to find that because I used to write all my routes in it. And I'd put it on my dash right in front of me. And then that way I could just pull out my book and look at my routes. So,
well, when early in my career, when I was in training with aviation, we had these little noteboards, these little clipboards we used to strap to our leg when we're wearing a flight suit.
Oh, I've
the
seen
same
that.
type
I've
thing.
seen that. Yeah.
We put our notebooks on there. We had all of our notes for our routing, our timings, fuel calculations, etc., all sitting there, so it was immediately available. as we're flying. So yeah, no, it's an important thing to have, and I can see where that can still have relevance today. But now you got trucks with tablets sitting in them, and 3 or 4 phones and all this other stuff, all designed to distract drivers more and more, of course.
Yeah. Dude, I totally missed all these comments over here. These things aren't even popping up. I'm so sorry, everyone in the comments. John, dude, you're so fired, bro. You are so
I've thrown a couple of them when they were
John.
funny. You got to tell me I'm doing the dang comments. You got to tell me I don't want to overrun your show, dude.
All right. We're just gonna bring the guest up. We're just gonna bring the guest up, John. Okay.
It's why everyone's here. They're not here for this pretty face.
Can we not screw this part up, John?
Please.
Okay, I'm joking, man. I love you, John. Thanks for coming to us. I just love busting your balls, bro. All right. We've kept her waiting long enough. That's what happens when I bring John on here. He just doesn't shut up, and we both keep yammering on and talking. So without further ado, the woman, the myth, the super legend, Danielle Spinelli, aka Fraud Girl.
Bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out. Yeah. Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out. VIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, Rose life.
And it didn't pull her up. Jesus, this whole show is just a disaster, man.
I was dancing and everything. My millennial self was like, let's get it.
Was that a good enough walkout song?
That was great. That was great.
All right. You listed some good ones, and I was going to do one that you chose, but I was like, nah, man, like T.I. has got some dope songs.
I'm from Atlanta too, so you got to bring out my ATL boys. I like
yeah, man. Danielle, what's happening? It's so good to see you again.
I know, it's so good to see you. Thanks so much for having me on, by the way. Why has it been so long since I've seen you guys? What the heck?
I don't know. You've just been busy taking over the fraud world, Danielle. That's what it is. You've been so busy busting these criminals, and you just didn't have time for us. That's it. We all understand.
It's been fun because I've been learning so much. That's pretty much what I've been doing. It's like learning and educating. That's been my thing. But making moves. I've made theft recoveries. It's been pretty cool. I've worked with a bunch of like other law enforcement officers, training them and training out the customers. And it's been a crazy year, basically.
Yeah. It has been a crazy year. I would say a crazy, what is it? August? Is it August? Still August? It is still August. Yes. I'm lost in the year. I don't know about you guys. Some days I think it's July. Some days I'm feeling like it's November. But since last December, it's been freaking crazy. Everything has been nuts. Everything has been up, including our blood pressure. You know what I mean? So, rates are up, fuel prices are up, fraud is up, insurance is up, truck payments are up. I mean, golly, man, only thing I think that's starting to go down is people's level of confidence and motivation at certain times.
Yeah, it's been rough. I mean, even just the average consumer, think about all the like buying groceries. I saw something like it was Tucker Carlson. He was at like a different country and he was buying the same type of groceries he'd buy in the US over whatever, I don't even remember what country it was, but it added up to like where it would have been like over $300-400 here. It was like $100 over there. I'm like, what the heck? What are we doing?
Oh, yeah, we get screwed, man. We do. We get
so it's all the fraud. It's the cargo theft.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It has a lot to do with that, I think. It's a lot of like national security. It affects everybody's pockets. That's why I'm so passionate about it. It's because it's like, it hurts my grandparents' pockets, my kids' pockets, my pockets. It's a lot more than just if you're in the industry.
Yeah,
I did a calculation with a couple economics friends of mine, and we estimate somewhere between 20 and 25% of what you spend at Walmart today is marked up only so that Walmart can recover what they've lost in cargo theft. It is that bad at every major retailer at this point. So whenever the general public actually starts seeing that and understanding that, then the outcry is going to hit. I just don't know why they haven't seen it yet.
You know what's crazy is I met with CNN. They didn't pick my story, but I met with CNN. I was pitching my story about whenever I did the ride along with California Highway Patrol, And I was talking to them about just like how bad it is and how it's affecting all consumers' pockets. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, basically they tack on like 20%. Everybody's tacking on like 20% for retail and cargo theft. And they're like, well, we need a source to say that. And they're like, can you get a shipper or a retailer to say that? I'm like, no, why would they say that? So then they botched the story. It was terrible.
Yeah, it always seems to work out that way. I wish I had concrete numbers to validate that. But God, we know it's true.
Yeah.
Those of us that deal in fraud, we know it's true.
For sure.
And you're absolutely right. One of the coolest feelings about doing this job is a good cargo recovery.
Oh gosh.
I
it's
mean,
so great.
I am not beaming anymore, other than when I find a missing cargo, missing car, or something like that. Oh, I'm happy as clam.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
gonna
I-
create a cargo recovery OnlyFans page, and John is going to be my #1 subscriber. just videos of cargo freight people getting busted and stuff, you know.
it's cool. Like CargoNet's numbers for Q2 compared to last year was like
almost
down
doubled.
double amount. Hold on one
Yes.
second. Let me speak.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Sorry. No, but it was the percentage of amount of cargo thefts were down 26%, but the average value of each load was over double. So that they're stealing less because we're doing a better job as an industry. I will say, I think everybody's doing a better job, but they're targeting high value freight instead of just grabbing anything and everything because they could before. Now they're just really targeting. It's mainly data center stuff is what we're seeing a lot of. But
yeah,
I have seen a huge spike in cars.
Well, aren't you in the car stuff now?
In cars. Well, I'm in the car stuff now.
Okay.
Yes, but when I've been analyzing the numbers between January and the end of July, we went from an average of one car disappearing per theft event at somewhere around $50,000 value to minimum 3 cars missing in a theft event at at an average of $80,000. So they're now targeting high-end vehicles, and they're doing it in large numbers. So and in fact, CargoNet in its Q2 report did note that automobiles is fastly surging, very quickly surging in prominence among desired cargoes. So
I met with it was a PA officer, and he was talking to me about how they were seeing like same thing, like auto theft rings like being stolen. Basically, they were like taking a lot longer to go up the coast because they were working on selling it. Oh, I think it's like this small thing on the side or something. That's the view over there. I don't know how that works, but anyways, but he was saying the way they basically like chop cars, like they're essentially just chopping cars and like stripping VINs and flipping them out. So yeah, I can only imagine if they found the technique to do that and get rid of the cars quickly. So it's a wild world. It's crazy how sophisticated they are.
I love Shimmy's question for you. What's the craziest load you've recovered or attempted to recover at this point?
Gosh, so what's cool about working with Genlogs is they have like we work free investigations. So I work a lot of them. I just had one, which is a cool story because it was like a really fast recovery. There was like a bolo sent out from CargoNet, and I had a bunch of my law enforcement buddies reach out to me, and they were basically like, "Hey, can you find this guy?" And like the MCDOT, it was like we saw him once, but like never saw him again with that information because he's flipping his tags, he's flipping even everything on his decals except for one area. It was like a ace card or whatever on the side, like a decal. And so I had to like hunt through a bunch of images, but I found him, and I found him with like 2 other license plates. I gave that to the law enforcement buddies, and within 2 hours they got arrested in California. So it was like, yay! It was
cool.
amazing. Yeah.
Cool. I think the biggest one I've done so far. A couple months ago, I found me and my team. We found a Ferrari F8 in Miami that was stolen, valued at over $400,000.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty cool how all that is done these days, and I cannot wait because I'm about to become a Genlogs customer.
I'm
And
so
I
excited
am
for you.
dying to get my hands on the investigative tool so that I can do some real damage
Yeah.
against these bad guys here. I cannot wait.
It's really, really, really cool working for them. Like I've just been able to see it like images and seeing different things. And then what I'm super excited about is I'm part of partnerships now. So I have like a different role than I had before, but I'm basically working with different tech vendors to like make the process where to me, I like if we can get all the pieces to talk to each other, we can like solve the world of strategic cargo theft. We'll still have straight theft, like that's never I feel like ever gonna go away. But strategic cargo theft, I mean, there is a way to do it. And it's basically having the systems talk. And then at the shipper, if they have like the gate technology, checking things, checking back with gen logs, how are they operating on the road? Does that make sense? I can walk through the whole thing. It's a long thing, but it is like, it's legit. It's pretty cool.
All right,
Oh, I can't
John.
wait. Sorry, Pedro. Yes, please.
No, you're good because I'm sitting telling myself, I was like, I better jump in like before these two just keep going.
We can talk about
We
cargo
will.
theft forever.
I'm just gonna put myself backstage and I'll let John.
This is me and John's show. Get out of here.
I know it is officially your John show. Hey, we're going to keep talking, obviously, and we're going to get to everything that you were likely about to say. But since it has been a while, Danielle, since you've been on and, we run in different audiences or have different audiences, I should say. So would like to back things up a little bit, kind of start it from the beginning in a sense and find out who is Danielle Spinelli and how did you get to be where you are with gen logs and in the fight for freight fraud.
Yeah. So I was a broker for 8 years. And when I was a broker, I was in carrier sales. So I dealt directly with carriers all day long. And I moved high value freight. So I moved copper and electrical wire. That was my jam. And basically I had loads stolen from me and I had to get really good at carrier vetting and sniffing out the bad guys. As they got better, I got better. Then we switched over to using my carrier portal, which I was a user. I kept messaging them and telling them like how, oh my God, you saved me from this. And, oh, you should enhance this and you should do this. And then eventually they're like, hey, we have a sales gig opening up. Like, you want to come over? I'm like, let's go. Hopped over on the tech side. And what's funny is like the whole fraud girl name that started was they basically just threw me up on stages and were like, hey, go talk about carrier vetting. I'm like, okay. And didn't know what I was talking about really, but I knew what I was talking about. I didn't know how to speak publicly. So I had to really like crash course into that. But eventually people kept being like, are you like, who is this girl? And she always talks about fraud. Got named the fraud girl. And then kind of was able to turn that in. Thanks to Nate Johnson. Shout out to Nate. He kind of made my fraud girl image, which is what you showed earlier. That was like the OG fraud girl, by the way.
Yeah, I had to dig
that.
for that one.
Yeah, that was I haven't seen that in a long time. So yeah, I got to like turn that into a brand. So I started my podcast, which is called Tell Me Everything. I do Tell Me Everything Tuesdays, which is about like, professionals out there talking about how they're successful. And then every Friday is Fraud Girl Fridays, where I get to teach on cargo theft and prevention. And then after, so that the podcast hit like a year here recently, but in between all of that, I switched over to work at GenLogs and I'm director of partnerships over there. So I get to work on like integrations and having tech systems talk to each other, which is like really nerdy. And I don't know anything about coding or tech lingo, but I do understand cargo theft and I understand like, how to make things easier for, a broker or for whatever user. So yeah, I guess that's like almost my life story kind of.
That was the Cliff Notes version. If I'd have never heard it right there.
I know.
That was a really quick one, but I mean, you did, you pretty much covered it. And, last time we had you on, you were still over there at MCP. You hadn't started Tell Me Everything yet, which I don't know if you noticed, but I reversed it because the show is called, my show today is called Everything Me Tell with Danielle. So because you're on the opposite side, right? Now, instead of being the interviewer, you were the interviewee. So
I like that a lot.
But you hadn't started Tell Me Everything yet. Not the GenLog stuff, like Fraud Girl, like that kind of wasn't totally a locked in thing yet. So a lot has changed since we last had you on. And even though I've kept up with you, we're still connected online and we've talked and everything. It's It's good to get you back on here because even though you are still in the same space with the fighting freight fraud, you're attacking it from different parts now, I feel,
Mhm.
and you have got a unique perspective in what you do, in the sense that you have seen this as a broker, Danielle. You have seen this as a vetter, as a vetting platform, in sense, my care portal onboarding platform, we could say, and now you're seeing it from the defensive or offensive end. Either way you could look at gen logs, you could look at it both. So you kind of full circled on seeing this stuff from every angle, seeing the way it's involved, how the criminals have evolved, their plans, their scams, and how we have changed things and how we deal with them as well, right? It used to
Yeah.
be you just had to wait till some shit got stolen or happened to you, and then then go chasing it.
Yeah.
Now because of people like you as an individual and gen logs, we're kind of able to be getting more in front of things and being able to prevent the problems from happening, and be proactive. Whew, there's the word, being proactive instead of reactionary. So um tell me, Danielle, like, kind of first thing I guess I want to know is, what are the biggest differences that you have seen from being on all those sides, and that the way you've dealt with it, the way you fight it, how you've learned about it, all that stuff, how has it impacted you from having it from all those views?
Yeah. So what's interesting with working with Gen Longs is our customer base isn't just brokers. We're shippers, brokers, carriers, insurance companies, and law enforcement. So I think honestly, the biggest takeaway that I have learned and like how to actually vet is learning from law enforcement and how they actually like do an investigation and what all they look for and dig into. Because similar things of what you do, like reactive after the fact, you can kind of reverse engineer that and make that be more offensive. Because there really is, it's not as complicated as everybody feels like with when it comes to carrier vetting. There's a lot of like basic things you can do, going back to relationships, going back to making a phone call, that type of thing. But then even just having tools in place that shows you red flags and then knowing how to ask more questions and vet from there. Cause I will say tech has came a long ways, even since I've been on the tech side in 3 years. Like it's like everybody's done a great job, all the different systems out there. So I think what I have learned the most is from law enforcement on how just how they fight. I mean, they're like it's like sting operation. Like it's fully a organized crime. They're tying these same guys to like sex trafficking and drug running and all these, like they're doing a lot more crimes than just cargo theft. So it's kind of taking that same mentality into cargo theft and hunting them down that way. And but like I said, be more offensive. I'm big on like let's be more offensive instead of defensive. So
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the law enforcement part of it, because I remember a lot of this first started going on when, like, the lounge, when I first started the lounge, man, like a huge part of what we did was talking about fraud stuff, because a lot of us, we were just coming off of COVID. A lot of us had been victims of it. A lot of people are still being victims of it, because, we hadn't learned the signs and the things that were going on yet,
yeah,
and that's how I met John, Claudia, you, Dale, everybody. So even between, I remember then we were talking about, everyone's worried, well, what is law enforcement doing about it? What is law enforcement doing about it? Because, like, oh, you call them and say, hey, this truck is right here with my stolen freight. And, sometimes it was if you
yeah,
even got a response about it, and I like that you made the point, because I think this was an underlying thing that we didn't realize was going on until people like you and John started diving into it. But, like, this isn't just, Matthew down the street who is
right,
still in freight. Like, most of these are organized
very,
criminal rings. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that are put together by multiple people that have multiple layers, and it is far more complex than a lot of people think. And usually what do criminals do? If you get away with one crime, obviously you're going to test your limits and your luck with more crime.
right.
So, like I said, a lot of these are involved with more things: human trafficking, narcotics, who knows at this point.
And cargo theft is like the least penalty, right? Like most highest bang for your buck, lowest penalty, which is like things are changing hopefully once bills go across. But like it's definitely where what's frustrating for law enforcement officers is whenever they do make arrests and they make these big cases, $13 million big warehouse bust and all these things. And then they see them back on the streets not so long after doing the same thing again. So I think we've came a long ways, and like you said, like with law enforcement, it's sometimes still very hard for brokers or shippers, whoever, to report a cargo theft. But I think I guess the biggest thing that I can say, and whoever's listening, if you ever have to do that, the biggest thing whenever you are making a report is you really cannot keep all the logistics lingo in there. Like they don't know what the heck we're talking about. Like they don't know what a reefer unit is. They don't, you know what I mean? Like they don't know any of that stuff. They don't know what strategic theft means. A lot of times they think it's like a civil issue. So wording it like I have a theft in progress and getting at least a report in there so it can get escalated to a detective and an investigator, that's when you can give all the details and do all those things. And then there's such a network out there now that we built since, really 2020. He's a bigger network on that too, but the network that we built is like, you can reach out to like John, myself, or, what are these, cargo theft gurus. And I promise we have connections where we can quickly reach out and, get you a police report entered or help you with a recovery. Like there are so many people that are helping and doing great things. So it's really cool to be a part of it. And really, and like I said, with the numbers for Q2, like in Q1, honestly, like we've been doing really well. And a lot of that's education and people implementing it. And I think enough of us have been burned enough where we're like, okay, I actually have to do these things, even though it takes more time. I got to do it. So.
Yeah.
Well, in this now post Montgomery world, it's kind of forcing a lot of people to do new things. Brokers who I would say probably about 50% of the brokers that are out there have really taken a laissez-faire approach in dealing with fraud or theft because maybe they're not a common victim or they're not a regular victim of it. But now when you factor in the findings from the Montgomery decision, it's on everybody's mind. And now not only they're working about, are they dealing with fraud, but are they now defensible against negligent hiring claims? There's a lot wrapped up in this, and why what it is that Danielle does is so damn important these days. We did get a question for you, Danielle. What is the most cooperative state with GenLogs, and what is the worst cooperative state?
With GenLogs, I guess I don't know for sure about specifically with GenLogs, but as far as like the best state that is good at like recoveries and all that, I would say California. They are top tier. They know what they're doing. They have like LA has a section, North California has something. See, I work directly a lot with CHP, just California Highway Patrol. And then they have like a South division too. So, I mean, they really have been set in the forefront for all law enforcement throughout the whole US. Like they go on so many trainings throughout the US, train others on what they see, because they're like the hub of all crime. I feel like California's been number one in cargo theft since the dawn of time. So they've had to really find all the tips and stuff. So them, and then also the FBI in Pennsylvania, they are like top tier. They know what's going on, and they're actually like really making a difference. So good question.
I can definitely vouch for the California Highway Patrol. In fact, Danielle, it was you who connected me with one of the sergeants in there, and I have been in touch with the team in Sacramento numerous times on different theft cases, a couple times with the LA team, and they have been phenomenal in being able to get stuff done. I love the hell out of those guys. And you're right, the Philadelphia task force there with the FBI is definitely one that's a shining example. And I was really hoping that as Corca was moving its way through Congress, that we would see that bloom more across the country. Now we're seeing Arizona really step up. Arizona's got a very active fraud prevention organization, but a lot of
Georgia,
states are still really lacking though.
Yeah, Georgia, PA. But I will say overall, like I met with the FBI headquarters. I can't remember how long ago that was, but they were interested in like, how do I train the masses on, because I'm like, this is a lot more than just a state issue or a local area. Like this is they're crossing state lines. Like this is a federal issue. And I mean, I've been preaching on this forever, but this is like a matter of national security. Like think about like us being in war. Like they think about something getting like the wrong driver hauling whatever load, and then that has bugs. I mean, like there's like so many, this is like rabbit hole stuff, and I don't want to go down rabbit holes, but it's a lot bigger than than just like cargo theft or just like, a load of Nike shoes getting stolen or whatever. It's a lot more
Well,
than that.
I don't. I've had a lot of people sit there and say that they filed reports with the FBI, particularly their IC3 division, their Internet Crimes division, and they never hear a damn thing. And I filed a series of reports with them, and they actually reached out to me. And it's two reasons. One, because the verbiage that I used is verbiage that gets law enforcement's attention.
Yeah.
That's one thing right there. And secondly, with you and Philly, the Phoenix group came to me and started asking a bunch of questions. That's when I learned that the FBI is really stovepiped into their individual little specialties.
Yeah.
One group does explicitly auto theft, another group explicitly does kidnapping, and another one exclusively murder or internet crimes, whatever. And when you see the different the realm of freight fraud covers multiple areas at one time, they don't know who needs to be taking point. They don't know who should be coordinating response. They don't know. So it's a matter of trying to get them organized to be able to deal with this. And that's what I've been working with Phoenix on. And you clearly have been working with headquarters and Philly in trying to do that. So it's been a challenge, but we are making headway on it.
Rabbit hole, please. Yeah, trust me, I can go down some rabbit holes. That's why I have a show every Friday, because that's all I talk about. But no, you're definitely right. I mean, and then like as far as like the rest of the industry, shippers are finally paying attention to this. It's not just like, oh, a broker can write me a checkbook, or a carrier can just write me a check for it, because that's what has happened so long. I think they're feeling it in their wallet more than just like that individual freight. I think they finally understand like goes like, then you got to replenish that stock, and then that cuts out for margins from this. And like, it's a lot more than just that one load getting stolen. It like, ends up eating so much more revenue. I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but I did like this whole thing with one of my customers on like one load and how much it actually affects them. It's not just that, it's more than like triple that. So anyway, shippers feel it now, and they're actually involved. And I've been working with gate companies as part of like my partnership stuff with the Genlogs part, to work with them on like the gate access, where they can see like honing in on cameras. And I guess I didn't even say what Genlogs does, so I should do that, but let me do that real fast before I go down this rabbit hole. So Genlogs, we have cameras all throughout the US. It's our cameras, and we take pictures of trucks and trailers. So basically we grab like the license plate, the DOT, MC, the truck number, trailer number, like logos, like you name it, anything that's on a truck and trailer, anything commercial vehicle. We grab anything outside of commercial vehicles is actually auto deleted. I can't even access it if we wanted to. But anyway, so because of that network, and we can see this nationwide, let's say like a gate company, like they can see it up close, and they can see like who's showing up at the door. What's happening even with like, let's say the phishing attempts, like we talked about with Pedro, how he got hacked. And I was like back here freaking out, like, oh my God, you guys are talking about fraud. Bring me in. Yeah. But anyway, so like let's say they hack in and they know like, oh, this load is asking for this carrier. All I need to do is throw this decal on. I need to get there before their ETA so I can pick up that shipment. So what they would do is like head towards that shipper right before, flop whatever decal they needed to get through the gate. They get through the gate, grab the load, and then they're off. And it's not actually the carrier. It's, Joe Blow pretending to be. So with that gate technology going in with Genlogs, then you can zoom out from that gate and say like, okay, actually, we've never seen that truck number with that carrier before. We've never seen that license plate with that carrier before. Like being able to like say what they're doing on the actual roads versus, just in that your zoomed in lens. And that goes for brokers too, and carriers. Like carriers are finding their stolen trailers and rabbit holes again. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's important though. It's important because a lot of people don't even realize this kind of thing is happening. You talk about how shippers are improving, but for the most part, I think the shippers are still the weakest chain in the whole link in trying to deal with freight fraud. Because they are the front line and the last line of defense. And a lot of them refuse to acknowledge any responsibility in trying to do that. You talk to somebody like Pepsi or Walmart or something like that. Like, hey, we got 300 doors in this facility. We don't have time to sit there and go and look at the sides of every truck coming in to make sure the VIN number matches and the truck number matches. And all. I'm sorry, if you don't have time to do that, you need to hire people and do it.
Or have automation through there's tech out there now that those gate cameras can be automatically done. And then it will release and close the, the doors and stuff. Oh, this is a good question. Do you think truckers should be armed to protect cargo? Yeah, so straight cargo theft, that would affect that type of thing. Something, I guess, if for whatever drivers are listening out there, because you are getting hunted as well. Like they will, if you're picking up like a high value load, they will follow you for X amount of miles, waiting for you to pull off and then see you go into the truck stop and, raid your truck. Pilferage is still like one of the highest types of theft still. So I think the biggest thing is just understanding your surroundings, knowing who's followed you. A lot of times you can see it. And then, yeah, if something happens, if you do see somebody following you, I would just call the law. Like I would call law enforcement and say, like, someone's following you. You don't know what's going on. And you don't feel comfortable pulling over. You need assistance. Because that's what they're there for. More than taking it in your own hands. Like I don't want anybody going down for something.
Well, the good news is, for the most part, cargo theft in this country is a non-violent crime. For the most part, we have heard of isolated cases where violence was used, but for the most part, it's a non-violent crime. So, Franklin, in terms of your question, from my personal opinion, everyone's got a right under the Second Amendment. However, keep in mind, a lot of shippers don't allow you on the property with guns.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go onto a military base with a gun in your truck. And if you break out a force multiplier and the bad actor in the back of your truck happens to have a gun too, it's going to get very violent very fast.
Yeah.
So
and that's not worth your life.
Just
no,
that.
There is no cargo worth your life.
Hey, John, thank you. Could I add something to that? Because I was just about to say, when I worked for McLean, we used to get robbed all the time. I mean, literally almost daily, because I worked for a section of McLean where we delivered to all the C stores. We delivered to Murphy's, Walmart, and we delivered all their tobacco products. So people would hit us and they wanted the cigarettes. They knew what was on there. I mean, there was, I don't know, I think it's 50 cartons per box. You know what I mean? You grab 10 of those boxes, you got some change on the street. You know what I mean? And amongst other stuff, when e-cigarettes came out and those were the thing, that's what they started hitting us for. So we used to have drivers that, all the time, oh man, I wish they would, da da da. Hey, bro, hey, you come, this ain't my shit. This ain't my stuff. It's not. Like, you want my dolly? Here, you don't hurt your back still in it. I'm of the thing, like, I get that it is in your truck and everything like that, but someone else's shit ain't worth my life. You know what I mean? That cargo in the back of that truck ain't worth my life. You know what I mean? Sure. Now, would I put the truck in drive and start rolling away with them in the back? Yes, 100% highly likely, 10 out of 10, I would do again. But I definitely would not. So it's like John said, man, they're there because it's an easy picking. And those criminals, for the most part, are just like a wild animal. What happens when you back a wild animal into a corner? You know what I mean? Yeah. People would do the dumbest shit to try to get out of trouble. So, yeah.
I will say there are measurements that you can take, though, as a driver to try to prevent as much as you can. There's certain areas. Cargo Nest does a really great job of showing the hot spots of what truck stops get hit the most. So one in particular that's super hot is right over the California Arizona line. Really anything right over the California line. If you're waiting to get fuel until you go directly over because it's so much cheaper, a lot of times they're sitting there waiting. So it's making sure you're backed up to something, or making sure you have somebody watching your back if you do go inside. I guess simple things like that, trying to stay with your truck as much as you can and pay attention to be alert, but don't stay in those hot spot truck stops. For sure.
How effective are secondary security solutions? I've seen solutions at some of the truck shows where they can put a steel box over the handle on the back doors of the trailers to keep anyone from breaking the seal, or then lifting the handle itself to open the door. How effective are those secondary securement systems in your opinion?
I've heard great things about them. And think about this, the bad guys are going to think about whenever they're clicking doors, right? Who has the unlocked door? They're just clicking doors. It's the same thing. Who's the easiest target to get into? That's what they're going to try to go after, especially with pilferage. Obviously, if it's a certain commodity, they're hunting you on that. But really you should be taking extra security measurements in hand for your locks. And there's a lot of great technology out there. So I think I think also it helps you sell to your customers as well. If you say, hey, I'm armed with this and this, and I take this very seriously. So yeah, like reading while trying to talk.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
God
that's what I'm
dang,
trying to do
Travis,
too.
you just had to type a
Here's
freaking
a-
novel here.
Yeah, I had Travis
It's
on
good.
my
It's
show
good. It's
a
good,
couple
man.
of weeks ago, and it was an amazing conversation. But yeah, he's been he writes novels for comments.
I love that though. I love what you're writing for sure.
It's all good
It's
stuff.
so. Hey, all right, Danielle. While
Yes.
while I got you, I want to make sure that, amongst sharing some stories and successes and stuff, and how how you were fighting it and stuff. I want to make sure that we talk about the way people are being victimized, and how a lot of that, in my opinion, the way they're getting access has not changed a lot. Like, I still see a lot of the same shit they were using in COVID. They're just changing. They're changing small things. It's kind of like, well, I'm rambling. What are some of the things that we're seeing that people are falling victim to? The most common, the least common, where does that? Has stuff changed? Where are we going with it? What are the criminals doing? Let's talk about
So
that.
yeah, I would say 2020, the biggest thing that like we saw was like the email that was like one letter off or had the L instead of an I, or whatever. Like that was really common then, but they got a lot more sophisticated. Same type of game, but basically more sophisticated because we were able to kind of see through that. So a lot of it's phishing attempts. So just kind of like how you had that one, you clicked on that email and then they were able to override your computer and they just sit there. I mean, they sit there for like 6 months to a year is what I've been hearing. FBI was saying that's probably one of the biggest things is targeted. And then it could be the shipper, it could be the broker, it could be the carrier. They, as soon as they get into one, they're also then trying to send out like an email, like you were saying, like they were on the shipper's servers clearly or in their email, and then send you an email on it. Like they're able to do that and then just keep, it's just kind of going into certain things and they're waiting for that. So that's probably like the most common. So cybersecurity is super important. MC sales on Fort. Like I just am blown away that this is still happening, because I'm like, why why is MC sales still happening? Why are carriers still selling their MCs to bad guys? It blows my mind. But that still happens. I think the biggest thing with that is, I guess, like the biggest takeaway and the easiest way of carrier vetting is couple things. Does it make sense for like their history? Like, have they been in that city or that state before? Have they operated there? Do they have that type of equipment? Have they ever hauled that type of thing before? So kind of getting to know who you're working with on less of a digital front, because that can be hacked and manipulated and things like that. So that's why Genlogs, I love Genlogs, because it's more on that physical front, seeing what they're doing. So that piece of it's so important. And then just picking up the phone and calling somebody and saying, hey, I booked a load with so and so, and I booked for this lane and with this driver. Do all these people meet with you? It's not enough just to say, hey, is John your dispatcher? That's not enough, because John will work there, but his email's hacked. It's more of like, hey, this is the driver. And then any information that you get, relaying that to the shipper and having a good relationship with your shipper, and having them understand like what all processes do you do at the shipper to check things, and then making sure that you're, in lockstep with them. Hey, I check all these things. Okay, I'll provide you all this information. And then if they don't do anything, educate that like this is the way to get to shippers, is by brokers or carriers talking to their customers and educating them, because then you look like the fraud girl out there, and you're educating and you're blowing their mind with what's going on out there. And it honestly just helps you, even like volume, and they'll trust you more and they give you more freight and more money. Like it's a win-win kind of for everybody. So that's my spiel.
You know, good, in a way, good to hear. They haven't changed most of the tactics. I think they're still pretty much, they are the same. We see it all the time. The big thing here that I've been seeing recently is the MCs. Like, we saw one the other day. Like, when we dug into it, it's been sold like twice. The emails that have been connected with it have changed twice over the last 6 months. And it's fucking nuts, man. It's absolutely crazy. I still see it on Facebook, man. I still get people. I have a Facebook group that I'm an admin in. It's got like 47,000 people in it. And I still get people in there
blows my mind.
trying to buy or sell MCs. And I mean, I obviously never ever do it. I used to comment to the people and be like, oh, you can't do this. It's illegal. But I just stopped wasting my time because I know they're all scammers. Some of them seem legit, but I'm pretty sure at this point they're all they're all scammers.
And you can sell, legally you can sell your business, but you have to
but
sell
not
it with
on
equipment.
Yes, yeah, but you can't be
have to-
selling it on Facebook.
But
and they'll be
you legally can. You just have to sell it with equipment. You can't just sell
Yes.
the digital MC and stuff. You cannot do.
Yeah.
It has to have a physical asset.
yeah. Well, thank you for correcting me. I would have.
Sorry, I just had to
but
make sure. 'Cause there is a way.
No. You're right.
I get wanting to get out of the game, and they need to
Yeah.
be able to do that. And like I get like there's value in your business, and you shouldn't just give it
Well,
up. But
when
there's a way to
all
do
you're
it.
doing is posting like a green background and it says MC for sale, Amazon account, we'll accept PayPal, Venmo, like
He's perfect.
that's
I'm
the
in
stuff that
highway.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
I think one of the
absolutely
reasons
crazy.
why that still happens is desperation. You've got enough carriers out there who have been absolutely obliterated by high insurance costs, high fuel costs, et cetera, and they didn't manage their costs early on in their business. So they're at a point of desperation, and they see a way out.
Yeah.
That invitation is now a way out, and they may even know that they're dealing with a scammer, but it's still a way out. I mean, look at some of the domestic theft cases that go on. A lot of the domestic theft cases are inside jobs, and they're inside jobs because you got a shipping clerk who gets paid $10 an hour or $13 an hour who can't make ends meet, and then you got somebody in a cartel coming up to him and say, hey, the next time you have a load of this going out, just send us a copy of the BOL and we'll give you $50,000.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who will be tempted by that. And forget the fact that is a one and done situation. When you get caught, you will never work in this industry again. Your reputation will be destroyed. That sin will follow you forever for the rest of your professional career.
And stricter punishments are coming for those too. So
absolutely. But because there is enough desperation out there, because pay rates have not gone up commiserate with inflation, you're going to find more and more desperate people, and these international groups are preying on the desperate people to give them the intel they need to find the loads that they're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. But I totally get all of that. There is a legitimate way to do it. I just don't think that enough carriers are educated on that, where they don't realize I have to sell my truck with the MC.
I don't think that, and I also feel that a lot of them, when they get to that point, they don't care where the MC goes. Like to them, it's and that's the sad thing, and that's not taking a dig at them, because I mean, we all could understand that. You know what I mean? You're in a spatch bot, you have one thing that's valuable, and you're just trying to offload that commodity and stuff. I want to back up a little bit and touch on something. I'm trying to catch up all his comments as he's
I know.
up here.
I'm trying to make sure the comments come up. I don't want to get yelled at by you again, Pedro.
My God, don't give me this crap, man. You've already been fired. You're not getting rehired.
Okay, one of the questions was, what's the most likely commodity? So number one is food and beverage. It's usually like non-alcoholic, like Red Bulls and stuff like that. That's number one. Number two is beef. As far as food and beverage goes. Then the second one is, we're back up to metals. Metals is number two with copper. I would also probably put data center stuff within that realm, because a lot of it does have the metals within it. But data centers are getting freaking bombarded, and it blows my mind that these data centers haven't taken, like, like the pharmaceutical companies, they don't get thefts that happen. Like, they know what they're doing. There's a way to do it. And it just blows my mind that these people that are like shipping these multi-million-dollar shipments haven't figured out how to do it. Like, it's reach out to John or I, and we will walk you through the steps. I promise. But anyway, so those
nothing else, hire an escort car to follow it.
Even escort cars that they're getting. So what's crazy is that Scott Cornell was telling me about an escort car that got bumped, and then they got went off the road. Yeah.
I heard
Ran
about
off the
that.
road. This happened twice, so it's not like a huge thing, but yeah, ran off the road and then the driver took off. So it turns out the driver on both instances was in on it, but it goes back to carrier vetting. You still have to carrier vet even if you have an escort. Anyway, so I can, like I said, rabbit hole, I could talk on this all day long. I do every Friday because there's so many different avenues that they do things. So
All right, so
ask your
I
question.
want to.
Sorry, Pedro.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. We had to catch up with those things. Franklin is he's back. He is back with a vengeance. He has been gone, and now he's just in every show commenting, trying to get his 2 cents in.
Love it.
No, all right. So, you had talked about kind of. I'm going to talk about 2 things here. We'll start one with the shipper stuff. So, you know, you talk about a lot of these shippers becoming more aware of this stuff. And, you know, another person who I got to give mad credit to that has been busting shippers' balls on trying to take their part in this is Jeff Dickinson. He has been saying for a very, very long time that 99% of this shit could be stopped at the shipper. If you just simply, if the broker just simply told, hey, John or Danielle, this is the truck that I'm sending. Here's the truck number, the trailer number, the carrier, this is the driver's name. And the shipper just walked out there and all you had to simply says, once again, the dot, hey, give us a minute. We'll get to loading you. That's all it takes. 2 minutes of your time. You can check the truck. You can check the truck numbers, the trailer, all of that stuff. And El Jefe Jefe, that's right, bro. El Jefe Jefe. And you could prevent a lot of it, you know. So I'm really glad that you say, you know, that you're trying to hold these shippers to task too, saying a lot of them are taking more part because for too long it has been exactly what you said. And brokers and carriers, you could get on me all you want for this, but brokers have been the God, it just totally left the word is totally left, but we've been the whipping post, I guess you could say. We've been the barrier between the shipper and the carrier. You know, when something goes wrong, the shipper comes after us. They're like, oh, we don't worry about it because we're going to file on your insurance and we're going to get our money, you know, even though we did all the things that we may have been supposed to do and something just slipped through the crack. And although I can see how that is right, it also at the same time is like, we go back to the shipper doing their part. Where does your liability start in this? Because I did my part, but what did you do to make sure that the right truck and the person and all this stuff was there as well? Where does your liability and your responsibility end and begin? And where does mine? Where does the carriers? I think that's a big thing here is that there's too long. It's like point the finger on who's to blame and who's going to write the check for this. You know, I'm glad to go ahead.
I'm seeing a lot of that actually. I'm seeing shippers having to turn around and write their own checks. And brokers saying, no, you know, we did everything right. We told you who was supposed to be there. We told you who was supposed to pick it up. We sent you the BOL. When they came to pick up, it wasn't the right truck. It wasn't the right driver. You released it anyway. That's not us. That's on you. And that's that movement is gaining momentum and is saving brokers money. Brokers, if you got a really good risk management team, there are grounds that you can utilize to help shield yourself from some of this liability. And now it may hurt your relationship, which is why brokers are still paying on it. Hey, so you got to manage the expectations.
Just to add to that, what's been great is that the large brokers who can take the hit if they lose a customer because of that, because they don't pay, they have been renegotiating their contracts. And I think this is something the whole industry, no matter what level broker you are, it's coming from the big brokers. So now it's time for middle brokers, smaller brokers to start implementing it as well. When you get a new customer or you start onboarding a new shipper, whenever you hopefully, like some people don't even have a shipper broker agreement, like please, for the love of God, get a shipper broker agreement. But in that agreement, have the conversation with them, meet with your customer, get to know your customer. What exactly are they doing and what processes do they do? And then you can put that liability in that contract. Hey, you said that you check X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to, my liability is that I have to provide you with X, Y, and Z information, but then you have to check it. If you don't check it, if I don't provide it, it's on me. If you don't check it, that's on you. So you can word your agreements in that way. And like I said, the big boys have been doing it now for quite a while. I think that's really opened a lot of shippers' eyes because they've just been like, we don't need you as a customer anymore. So now it's time for the middle brokers, small brokers to kind of renegotiate their either as you grab new, it's easiest when you grab a new customer. But that's so important. And you can word it in a way where it's not like defensive. It's like, hey, you said you did this. So if you do this, then let's just make sure that it's written down that way. So yeah,
I think it's all, I think it's also just important to have those talks too. That's another thing that Jeff brings up a lot. He's like, as brokers, especially, I wouldn't say especially now, but a lot as brokers, and I guess you could even say carriers, we're so damn quick to just do business with people because it's new business and it's going to be new revenue and we're going to get a more commission on our checks or whatever it is. And I guess I as a business owner or whatever, just expect you as a business owner to have your shit together the way that I got my shit together. You know what I mean? And too often I feel those conversations aren't had a lot, like what you said, Danielle. Hey, what are your processes when someone shows up to dock? Are you aware of how rampant freight theft is and fraud? Just generate those things, find out what they are doing and what they are not doing. And it also gives you a way to say, hey, I am doing these things. And even though I am going to be a barrier for you, I can't be the fall guy. So we also need to make sure we're both doing something to protect each other. Like my poor customer, man, here's the crazy thing about this deal with my customer that I've been thinking about and that I mentioned to him is these people did not go after him for freight stuff in the primary. And we obviously know that because of the way they preyed on me. They didn't, as far as I know, they didn't go and, well, not like I really saved documents and stuff on here, but they were trying to get after money. But what did they find and what could they now be evolving into because they accidentally fell upon someone who does something? Now, this guy doesn't ship anything fucking special. I mean, it's nothing, it's plants and nursery stuff. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy things. But, again, he's got private information. There's other people got private information. I mean, let's be honest. If you tried buying an orchid from the store lately, they're like $30 for a single one. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I will say they were stealing straight up just trailers full of water bottles.
Yeah.
Like
there you
it's
go.
not that much value, but they can easily flip it. They can find
it has a lot of value like before a hurricane hits.
Well, and like if you think about it, they have no overhead. So like it's just straight profit. Like they don't care how much they sell it for. It's just straight profit to them. So it can literally be anything and everything. But like I said, they are targeting high value right now. But I think that's because we've been doing a better job as an industry, like, crossing our T's, dotting our I's. But yeah, shippers, and you really like whenever you have that conversation with your shipper, you build like so much trust with them. And I promise you time and time again, I educate brokers or carriers on this, and they win so much more business because they took that approach and they weren't scared just because they got new business. Yeah. And one other thing I want to quickly say though is with the new business thing, if somebody is reaching out to you on your website on the contact me saying that they are a shipper and they want your business, it's 99.99% fraudulent. So that's all I'm going to say. For the love of God, no one's reaching out to you.
Well, I mean, I know that a lot of brokerages,
Danielle, just busting our hopes and dreams here.
So it happens so often. I'm like, why would they reach out to you? Like,
I look at the skill sets that you and I have, Danielle, because it's an exceptionally unique skill set. And it is evolving today. There are a lot of brokers who are looking for somebody like you and I today, because and now we're becoming a sales commodity. Because I know the broker I work for is now using me as a sales tactic to their customers. Well, we've got the double broker bounty hunter working for us, and it's actually gotten them business. So if you having those skills, having that skill set in-house is definitely going to help a lot of people. So develop it. Danielle does a weekly thing. I do a weekly thing on fraud as well. Pay attention. And the more that you educate yourself, either as a broker, as a shipper, as a carrier in this space, the more valuable you will become in trying to make a difference as to what happens. Because I can tell you right now, as it stands, I will never not have a job.
I want
Yeah.
to I want
Never.
to piggyback off of what you're saying here, because I had another point that I was going to run by Danielle, and you kind of just brought it up. First, I'll get to Franklin. I don't, bro. I get a few from this guy every week. Most of my nursery loads died down because the majority of it went to flatbed, and flatbed is fucking hard to be competitive in right now and find trucks. And
You need gen logs.
yeah. Well, maybe that is what it is. Yeah. So
those
yeah,
guys.
I've kind of moved away from nursery stuff. It's I don't know, it's real fluid. I liked it for a while, but I got bored with it, and I got sick and tired of them coming and saying, "Hey, I've got this new broker that's going to run a load for you $50 cheaper." I will immediately tell you buy. I don't do that
Yeah.
shit. I don't. I'm sorry. I will lose. I just don't. I don't negotiate. My price is my price. I'm not going down a single fucking dollar. Don't ask me. Same thing you do with your customer. When your customer asks what your price is, you say, "This is my price." So don't come to me with that stuff. So no, I haven't. I've actually lost all of it because the market shifted, and unfortunately, I'm just not be able to be competitive, because the people that I run nursery loads with are people that run nursery loads who have all the straps, the rack, all that stuff, and they demand a premium price. So anyway, what I wanted to piggyback off John is the reality of what John was saying is how sad this reality is for what it takes for me to book a load right now, and how I feel that not only is freight fraud, theft taking money from our industry, it is hindering and slowing down our supply chain.
I can't wait to talk about this.
Yes. And so when I got into brokering in COVID, I was booking a truck 2 minutes tops. I mean, a shipper could send me a load. I could have that thing booked, BOLs made, everything done, minimum 30 minutes. I'm lucky if I can book a truck in 15 or 20 or 30 minutes. And it's the process you have to go through is so ridiculous. And it's the reason for we have to, but it's so stupid. And most of the thing, and this is me not throwing shade at carriers, because dude, I so understand this shit. The fact that I am basically asking you for everything but your social security number and your mother's damn maiden name to run a credit report is bullshit. It's ridiculous. I got to call you, the main line, the secondary line, the third line, email 15 people, hope that Highway has their shit together, which they never do. And then everything else, I can't stand those people. I can't. They will never come on my show. I have nothing but bad things to fucking say about them. They do nothing but hinder my business. I swear to God. Don't get me on the highway tangent. I literally had a conversation at Texas Trucking Show with one of their sales guys and said, "Dude, your platform is trash. You guys are setting rules that you have no idea what you're doing. You're making whatever." Oh. So anyway, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how long it takes, and it slows stuff down, man. I mean, I have lost what are really good carriers because it takes me so long to vet them, and they just move on with another broker who they've already done business with, where, there's only 5 steps they have to go through instead of 10, you know what I mean? Because they've already done a lot of the vetting stuff or whatever. And it's ridiculous. Or I'll lose loads. Shipper gives you a load and is like, "Hey man, here, book this." And then it's because it takes you so long to book something. Another broker comes in and says, "Oh, I already got a truck, and half the time they fail that because the trick they didn't have one, they didn't do the vetting, but still, it slows everything down, man. It is so ridiculous, the process we got to go through. And I think that's something that we don't look at, is the timeline that this is adding on to every single shipment, how it's slowing the supply chain down. And it's not just a monetary thing.
I would disagree, but here's why. Because I was a broker, and like I said, I had to go through that whole thing. I think a lot of it is learning how to see red flags. Not saying that you don't do the right thing, Pedro. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, there's different systems in place. There's tech out there now that throw up red flags for you. And then it's knowing what to do with those red flags and how to like quickly escalate, or just be like, it ain't worth my time. I'm going to move on to this guy. Obviously right now, freight's a little different where it's like harder to find a truck. I get it. There is a way though to make things more automated, and through like integrations and things like that, and setting up your risk assessment in a way where like it throws up a red flag, but then you know exactly what to do to counter that. Because, like I said earlier, at the end of the day, the biggest thing that you need to know is really who you're working with. But you want to know the history of that carrier. Like, has that carrier operated in that area before? Do they have that right equipment? Is the person who I'm talking to actually with this carrier? Like those, it's as simple as that, even though it seems way more complicated. It's a lot more simple than I think everybody's blown it out to be. Because and I get having so many different processes, I totally get it, but there is a way to make things quick still.
I would
So
rebut.
I would love to sit down and show you.
I would rebut with this. I hate technology, and we still use humans here. I don't trust it. Technology fails. It makes mistakes. Highway makes mistakes. No offense. Genlog has made a mistake somewhere, probably. Everyone makes mistakes. Technology fails, and it is slow to catch up. Highway being a prime example. I can't tell you how many times I have issues with them trying to book a truck in Missouri, but the last time Highway pinged it, it was in New York or whatever, and it flows up a flag. You know what I mean? But the guy sent me a picture. Look, dude, here's the damn city limit sign. Like, I'm sitting here in this town or at this shipper. So anyway, I will say that ours, we have a heavy human touch here. We have technology, but everything that a piece of tech tells us here, we have a human verify it, just because we have personally had tech burn us and do us bad. And so, like, I think
I guess would be with like the phone call, right? Because
that
I do
it's
think
mainly
phone calls are important, and that does take time.
Yes, it does, because they don't answer. They don't answer sometimes because they're doing other stuff. And also here's something else. So, like, I have a lot of carriers that they're massive. I want to say massive, 100+ trucks. So even though I've dealt with the carrier many, many times, I have not dealt with maybe this driver specifically. I've not dealt with this dispatcher specifically. So, like, there are layers to it that, like, what I'm talking about, add the complexity of it. You know what I mean? Just to protect myself. So, I mean, hey, maybe I am doing wrong. Danielle's telling me I'm doing it wrong. So
I'm more than happy to walk through it.
It's a balance. It's a balance. It's a balance of the tech, and it's a balance of the people. And tech's not designed to eliminate the people equation. It's like the same discussion we have with AI. AI doesn't replace jobs. It enhances jobs. It makes our jobs a little bit easier, but it does not replace anybody's job, and it can't.
I think you agree,
but it also makes it much harder
the opposite,
to start a new brokerage these days. If you don't have the money to start off with the tech, and you're doing a 100% manual start off, you are really way behind the power curve, and your chances of success are vastly limited. So if you're part of an established brokerage at this point, you're in a good place. The new guys, though, I don't see a lot of options there.
It's basically like, if the carrier looks squeaky clean, double check the location, double check the equipment type, that make sure check. That makes sense. And this is why I'm big on gen logs, because I can see the equipment. I can send the picture of that truck that should be showing up to the shipper. I mean, that to me is freaking, it's like,
looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I gotta wait for all that, Danielle. Like, because we do that. That's part of our thing, is we have to wait for the driver to send us pic. Now, some dispatchers have it together and they've already got all the pictures and they send them immediately because they know this. But I also deal with a lot of owner operator self dispatchers, and, you know, they're driving down the road or whatever. They just got a message from me saying, hey, I got a load. And, you know, so that's what I mean, is like, even though we may have dealt with them in the past or whatever, hey, emails change, phone numbers change. You know what I mean? You still got to go through your whole rigmarole. So I was just thinking it's just a whole process. I mean,
a process. You're definitely right. I would love just to see what you do and see if I can help.
I would definitely show you. I will never say what we do. And I learned that from John and Jeff, man. You know, like, dude, don't be coming on the internet.
No,
don't be coming on the internet talking about the damn processes you do to prevent fraud and theft. Like, here, just write them a playbook. Why don't you? So no, I would love to talk to you about it. We have a really solid plan, a really solid thing. I have, knock on wood, I've never had one done, like never, but we got a really good plan. My boss almost had one the other day, but they caught it. They caught it at the shipper, matter of fact. And this is because he has relationships with his shippers. And when they were expecting a certain truck to show up and that truck didn't show up, red flags started going off, and, you know, and they figured it out. And this was a liquidation load, which is what my boss is heavy in. So, like, those things, it could be anything from plush toys to fridges. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
So let
we
me
got
pitch.
this all process. I'll
I
be
know we're
love to
like,
talk to you about though.
I know we're almost like we've talked forever, but I just want to like real fast pitch my idea in my head of like I don't want to say blockchain, but it's essentially that, and you can do this through integrations. Let me just pitch it, and like I said, I think I solved the world's issues.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna die on this hill because I'm telling you. Okay, so essentially, with let's say like initially we need to have the drivers vetted, the carriers grab the driver information. Let's say like a 10 Street or whatever, Ready App. There's a bunch of other places. They have their onboarding process. They check all the things. The carrier then validates that that driver does belong to them. At that point, then the broker then validates the carrier, but also does like a check mark on like a baseball card of because you don't want to get into the employment piece like we saw with the most recent ruling, but like a baseball card of the driver. This is the driver that you should be expecting. They check all these different things. The carrier has these processes in place to check these things, blah, blah, blah. In that case, whenever you get the information, you put in your TMS and say, this is my driver, this is their truck number, this is their trailer number, their license plate, whatever information you get on there, that then gets sent back. I'm going to pitch GenLogs, but to GenLogs, and we see what's going on the roads and say, yeah, we've seen this license plate with this carrier. We've seen this truck number with this carrier, like trailers. That's a hit or miss sometimes, but truck number at least. And then if we have a shipper that has that gate technology, we send through that gate technology. This is who should be showing up at your door. Once they pull up, we say, yep, that matches the picture that we have. That matches all the information. He can go in. Like it can be an automated process, but I will say 100% tech is not all the way there, but we are really close. Like I'm working my butt off on this because I'm telling you, I freaking found it. I just got to get it all done. So anyways, coming soon.
Well, between that, on-site is another great one for a check-in process to help automate these kinds of things. Yeah, there is great tech out there. There is great tech out there that can make shippers' lives a lot easier. But damn it, you got to use it. You got to have a process,
and you have to connect it with other things. It cannot just be a standalone product. Like there's a reason why tech stuff talks to each other. So, anyways. Oh, well, I can't help the pricing. That I'm not in sales. That's not me.
I will tell you that there's a lot of organizations that are like that.
Yeah.
You don't know how much you're paying until
like
you start asking questions.
Right. But
all right. Man, Danielle.
Yeah. But isn't that cool? Didn't I tell you? Like like if this all works and all the tech gets connected, we can make that process be so much easier flow for you. So whenever you're covering, it's easier. The shippers are more protected. So at that point, if a load gets stolen, you at least know who stole it. And then we're back to straight theft, which straight theft is a whole nother ballgame. But like, let's try to fix strategic theft. I have the answers. We just got to get it done.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, they won't look, but they need a gate system that automates it. I'm telling you, it's there. There's stuff's out there. Yeah.
You're something else, Danielle. It is, I was thinking about when my wife asked me, she's like, who's coming on the show today? And I was like, Danielle. And she always like, Danielle. I'm like, babe. I was like, the lady we hung out with at Broker Carrier Summit in Fort Worth. They're just like, oh yeah, Dave. So I was thinking about that, like from the first time like we met and what you were doing in the space stand, like you just left brokering, like I said, went to MCP, and I don't know, it's been really cool to see the evolution of you professionally, Danielle, and personally and stuff,
Thank you.
Just all how far you've come, the things you're doing, the way you're shaking stuff up. And this goes back to a bigger point, or a bigger, I don't really know what the word, I don't want to say point, but Dale Prax was one of the first people that brought this stuff to my attention, him and Claudia Catlett. And I remember Dale, and he talks about this all the time because it's finally come to fruition, is we had Dale on the show in 2023, and, we had talked about all the people that fight fraud and all the folks that are doing something, all the technology and companies and blah, blah, blah. But there's one thing that none of those people are doing, and that is working together, whether it be the companies or people that work for those companies. And that's finally happening, people like you and John, and again, Dale and Claudia, GenLogs, like all of these people are now seeing like, hey, we all are trying to solve it, but it is going to take the village, you know what I mean, to take care of this issue. And we can share information and help each other out without giving away proprietary stuff and giving up,
Right.
you know, any part of business and all that. So that I like, because it is people like you, Danielle, and John, who try to take more of a public facing role with it. You know what I mean? Be out there, spreading the word, go on podcasts, and, you know, be a part of articles and interviews and all that stuff, you know, and highlighting these things on a consistent basis, that I think is really getting the ball rolling here. And while so much change is going on, and why finally I feel the government is listening. You know, John had talked about Quorka. There's God, what's the other one? Is it the Safer?
The Delilah law.
Delilah. You know, there's all these things that are going on that are trying to help this problem. And you guys got to admit, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, we never ever could have thought.
Shout out to Dale Prax
is
again. He's the one who
Yeah.
spearheaded the entire relationship with our industry and the government. Like everything that we have going on is like all due to him. I think.
I
anyway.
agree with that. I agree with that.
I mean,
Freight
Dale
validate,
even,
ladies and
helped
gentlemen.
to coach. Dale was involved in helping to coach Administrator Bars when he was going to his Senate hearing. I mean, that is how much the government trusts Dale and has taken his lead in trying to do this.
Yeah, he does it out of the goodness of his. I'm like, it just blows my mind. He's amazing.
I think that's why they trust him so much, is because, like, you know, Dale isn't out to make a buck off this. Like, and he says it a million times. He's like, you know, I'm not out here to make money off this. It's like, it's a problem, and it's a problem that has to be solved. And that's just the way Dale's mind works. Like, if you know Dale on a personal level, that's just kind of him. Like, he sees something that's fucking broken, and he just has to figure out a way to fix it. You know what I mean? Everything has to work right, you know? So, yeah, kudos to Dale. And he doesn't rest on it, man. He is out there all the time doing things, you know, shaking stuff up and making sure that our industry's voice is heard at the highest levels of this country. And that in itself is amazing.
I swear he sleeps with law books, because, like, how does he know every single law
Well,
out there? Like, you should have been a lawyer.
Well, a lot of people are like, well, he was going to school to be a lawyer, and he was an investigator in the Marines. That's what he did in the Marines. Yeah. So he was going to school to be a lawyer. And so yeah, that's, you know, and that's just an interest for him. He just I know, wake up, John.
Yeah, John. No, definitely
Whatever.
shout out. He just made a post, by the way. So those who are listening, go check out his post, because he made one where, like, writing about the Quorka bill to, like, say as an industry, or like how this has affected you and how you want this to happen. Like, they need to hear more from the Americans out there. So go do that. I did mine today.
100%. And we did not talk about this one, but we're going to get with this one on later. That was a good one. The military stuff. John talks a lot about that, about how much fraud goes on in that shit, and how easy it is to book a military load with a top secret piece of fucking equipment on the back.
Scary.
With some dingbat that just flew over here 5 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
It's scary.
Crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Danielle. No, I'm not in no rush. Hey, you were the one that kind of felt like, she's like, okay, I think she's ready to go.
No.
I'm in no rush.
I could be here all day long. But no, I was gonna say, like, Genlogs is working directly with, like, different agencies within the government. Like, for instance, like with, like, let's say law enforcement, like taking safety into account. I don't know if you saw this video online that was circulating, but like, even being able to see, like, someone's, like, violating their, like, manipulating their ELDs and, you know, changing their locations, like, being able to see that or whatever. So anyways, I'm just saying, like, that's why I'm so happy I'm working for a company that is taking, like, a stance on all different, like, the whole realms, like, even helping insurance companies to get pricing down. I mean, that's, like, it's core problems. And anyways, I just love my job. That's all.
That's good. Hey,
I know.
We all aspire for that, Danielle, to love what we do. Like, it's absolutely amazing. All right. I guess we'll wind it down. Danielle, I'm gonna just send you some links for Freestyle Friday. So maybe when you're busy or not busy on Friday afternoon, you come hang out with us. So you're about to be bored, okay? Your kids are about to be back in school. You ain't gonna have shit to do.
My kids are back in school. I got 2 seniors too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So see, do they have licenses? Can they drive themselves?
Yeah, I never see them.
There you go.
I never see them, and I'm like, yeah, I have my youngest, he's 12, but Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I'm on my own over here, so it's fine.
We're there. Our 19-year-old still lives with us, but we feel like we're alone too.
Yeah.
We do. So I get it. But I will start sending you some links freestyle so you can come back and hang out with us so
Yeah.
we can catch up with you. Before we do some commercial breaks, what have you got, Danielle? Any exiting comments, questions, concerns, updates? Give yourself or Gen Logs some plugs.
Yeah. So yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn, Danielle Spinelli podcast. I'll shout that out. Tell Me Everything. It has its own LinkedIn thing to follow. It's on all the other things, but Fraud Girl Fridays, if you like the conversation about cargo theft, that's where I can bring on like industry specialists and we go down rabbit holes. I bring in law enforcement people too, talk about what they do. So anyways, I love doing that. And then of course, Gen Logs is just like the way of the future. Not to plug them too much, but anyways,
No,
but
I
even
love
if you
them.
have I know I hate that I boost them up so much, but I did this prior to even working there, by the way. So
I
let me just
like it. We
preface
had Ryan.
that.
I had Ryan on the show one time, and I just like Ryan.
Oh,
He's
the
just a
best.
He's just a good guy.
Mhm.
He believes in what he does, and I don't know. Sometimes that's really all you need,
Yeah,
to know about a person. So yeah,
for
now
sure.
plug them all you want. Love Ryan. Love Gen Logs. Great things you guys doing over there.
Thanks. Yeah. So if anybody ever does have a load stolen, hopefully not, genlogs.io, there's a section that says like search for missing assets or something like that. It says at the top, submit that in, and then we actually like work and we have like a full investigative team that looks it up and tries to find it. We work with law enforcement. Like we've made so many recoveries. So anyways, if anybody does need help, that's a free service, does not charge for that. But we would love to help with that. And then, yeah, if you're interested in, because even like we have like so many different aspects that we're helping. Like, let's say that shipper fraud, like I was talking about, where they're coming in with our shipper intelligence, you can even validate if the shipper has that lane. And it's just like there's so many different angles that we're attacking. So to learn more, go to genlogs.com or you can DM me and I'm happy to set you up with somebody. But I'm not in sales anymore, so I'm trying not to always plug them
You
because
wouldn't
that's not my.
fucking know.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Jesus, you
Anyways,
working hard for that commission check, Ryan.
if only. Yeah, I know.
Oh man. All right.
Thanks for having me.
What, Danielle?
I was saying thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been really
No,
fun.
I am thank you for coming on. I'm sorry that it took me so long to get back to you, but you get it. You know
I've
how
been
it is.
busy.
Like
Yeah.
there's always someone new that wants to come on. And before I get off here, I'm gonna tease this a little bit on the show, and then I'll tell you two backstage. John, if you steal my guest, I will come to Pensacola and throat punch you. I'm gonna tell you about this. No, you guys are gonna like this. This guy reached out to me. You, Danielle, specifically talked about this on the show, and it was so hard for me not to get into this. I know. I gotta have her on freestyle on the coffee podcast. I'll send her links, Adam. I'll start sending her links. All right, whew, my fat butt out of breath. All right, so let's pay some bills real quick. Danielle, hold with me so I can tell you about this guest behind stage because this could be something cool maybe for you guys. I don't know if it could play into you, but paying some bills, factoring. Another avenue that people are getting with fraud is through factoring phishing. Mr. Carrier, Mr. Broker, Mrs. Carrier, Mrs. Broker. You want to protect yourself, know who you're doing business with. You need to be working with SureLine Capital. They're real small. You know who they are. Been in the business a long time. They're going to help you out. Rates starting super low, and there's no early termination fees. Oh, and they just rolled out a quick new app. Here's a commercial that shows you what it does.
Need to check fuel prices 100 miles down the road? Trying to book a load at 3 a.m. but need a credit check on a shipper or broker? Well, SureLine has an app for that. Access and monitor your account from the palm of your hand. Run financial reports. See open loads. Check fuel prices at 2,000 plus locations. All on the SureLine Capital app, now available on Apple and Android devices. To see more of what SureLine offers, including how to get set up, check them out on the web at SureLineCapital.com or reach out by phone at 801-605-8822. Don't forget to use code SURETHING365 to get your first invoice up to $2,000 for free.
All right, we were talking on the show earlier. Danielle mentioned about parking, being aware of your surroundings, making sure that you're protecting yourself. And lucky ducky, all of y'all are that we so happen to have a partner that can help you with that. Get with Freight Ninja. They got 60 plus locations across the nation. They can help out. All gated cameras, run by LVT. I mean, this place is almost it's the Fort Knox of truck parking.
With over 50 locations nationwide and site features like LED lighting, security fences and gates, and of course, assigned spots. Freight Ninja is truck parking done differently. View all of their locations and find out more about the benefits of Freight Ninja at freightninja.com or give them a ring at 844-303-1505. Make sure you use code Lounge Ninja to get special pricing.
Finally, 123 load board. Fraud mainly starts either emails or off of fictitious loads on load boards. You want to make sure that when you're booking these freight, you're doing business folks, that these are people that are vetted that only should be posting on here. And same thing with you brokers. Make sure you're working with verified carriers, people that you know are in business. Add 123 load board as a layer to your defense. They got all kinds of tools to help you out. Make sure you're doing business with the people you're doing business with. And they got a bunch of great things for you carriers to help your business be more profitable.
123 Load Board isn't just access to over 157 million loads a year with verified shippers and brokers. It's access to a business smorgasbord of tools to help your business now and in the future. Decide if a load is worth it before even calling with the Profit Calculator. No longer fret over those breakdowns with the Roadside Assistance Program. Expand your cargo coverage to haul higher value freight with additional insurance options. Plus all of this. Change how you run your trucking company by calling 877-875-5301 or go to their website at 123loadboard.com. Use 123 Lounge to get a discount on monthly and annual subscriptions.
All right. Since we had a special show day today because we celebrated my son's 21st birthday yesterday. We have, dude, we didn't do that. My kids are fucking awesome, man. Like, you know, what my kid wants to do for their 21st birthday is the same thing his brother did. And that is chill at the house, at our house with a bunch of his friends.
That's
and we're just going to drink some drink. I'm going to buy a brisket and some ribs, and I'm going to spend Saturday outside smoking some meat. And dude, we're just going to have a baller freaking good time, man. So yeah,
I live in Texas. I want some brisket.
Hey, you should come on. This will be my second one. The first one turned out really good. I've since smoked a couple of times, so I've learned some things. So this one should be even way, way better. So yeah, I will make sure to send you pictures so you know what you're missing,
Yes.
Danielle.
Yes, please. I'm sure that you guys would just be like my selfie pictures.
Yeah. So, but all right. So I have nothing for tomorrow. No Logistics Lounge show. John, do you have anything going on by chance tomorrow at all?
I got a couple things. Of course, as you all know, the Double Broker Bounty Hunter is now live 5 days a week. I got my usual show on Tuesdays at noon Eastern time. I'm usually a regular on the Road Dog Coffee Show Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I now also with Kiss This Media, we do Do You Even Freight? It's a morning show 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So be sure to check that out.
All right, Danielle, what about you? You got anything going on? Anything we need to know about?
Well, I got Frog Girl Friday, so every Friday at 10 a.m. And then, this weekend I'm hanging out with the kiddos. So I actually have to go to Mobile, Alabama on Sunday to do my son's basketball camp. Hopefully he gets a scholarship. We'll see. They're like teasing it like they're going to give him one. So
yeah,
for the love of God, please let one come through because we put so much time and energy in. So this is going to be it.
That's good.
And I wish you were there for a trucking related thing because that's only an hour away from me. I'd swing by and see you.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, my son, he's 6'7". He's like a basketball
Jesus Christ
crazy guy. Yeah.
And how old is he?
He is 17. Yeah, I had to think about that.
All the shit.
It's crazy. And apparently his growth plates haven't even closed yet. So I'm like, please let him stop growing because this is insane. But
oh, Joseph, we are so about to talk about you, bro. Ooh, we're about to talk about you as soon as we end this show here. Man, that's so good. I'm glad you're watching, Joseph. Glad you're watching. I'm literally about to talk about you backstage. All right. Well, good deal. Make sure y'all watch John's show tomorrow morning, 9 Eastern. Make sure, right? Did I say it right, John? 9 Eastern?
Yes.
Yes. All right. And then right after you're done with that, you can go watch more of the lovely Danielle at 10. Did you say yours was 10 Eastern, Danielle?
10 Eastern.
All right.
Yep.
10 Eastern. So
Back
boom,
to back.
boom, back to back. Back to
2
back.
solid
Fraud
hours
Friday.
of great stuff.
There
Love
you go. 2 solid hours of great stuff. Well, at least for sure an hour, but I'm not going to say winch hour. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Mine's got a full hour, so you can really get both in there.
All right. Hey, I appreciate everyone watching. Been too long since you had Danielle on, and getting back into this fraud stuff. Really love it. It's a conversation that we can continue having because it's always evolving, never ending. And with that, we're going to say, have a great rest of your Thursday. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and hope you have a good weekend. If you're out there on the road, please keep the shiny side up. Keep it between the mustard and the mayo. Have a good weekend when you get to it, drivers. And with that, we're rolling. Beautiful bean.
The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show host. So if you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.